Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and my folks out here. I told you guys I was going to bring some Guna fans. And then, of course, we have a Barca fan who basically don't have any dog in this fight, but he's going to try to stay neutral as possible as he can. And we might, discuss a little bit what's going on with Barca and their brokenness. But guys, thank you so much. Please share, subscribe. Like, I got Mike, I got Mark, I got Hapu. We're gonna jump onto this. You guys know what's going on. The main match Saturday, that's a match of the day, and it's Arsenal at Anfield. All right. But before we start, us on this side of the pond, we just had our Veterans Day and military thing. So I wanna shout out to my good friend and brother, from another mother, Captain, right? Major?
No.
Which one? Sergeant Major?
This guy, trying to get me in trouble.
I'm just apologize to all my military family out there.
No, Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel, Doctor, DDS, MS. I'm telling you, the guy has everything. And I want to say shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for all you do for us, for me to be able to sit here and do what I do. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you so much. All right. So, guys, today we're going to talk about Arsenal. We're going to talk about Liverpool, right? I'm going to start out with the Guna fan over there. Do you want to give us some news on what's going on with the Arsenal? Any Arsenal news that you want to share with us?
Well, I guess the two of us here, right?
Sorry. Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies.
Yeah, I'll let Mark go first. I don't think we really have that much news apart from the fact that I think we're going to have a full squad this coming weekend.
Yeah, so Sead Kolasinac picked up an injury in the international duty. But he's not one of our starting players anyway. Granit Xhaka is still recovering from injury, so that's pretty much the only two pieces of news. Hapu, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Oh, okay.
No, I think that's about it. It's just Xhaka is coming off of an injury, which is it's another here nor there kind of deal, because as you mentioned, Mark mentioned, he's not a starter for us at this point in time, even though he had been. I think he started like a couple of games, which that's neither here nor there. I think it was earlier on in the season. We've kind of learned how to play without him. I think we already knew how to play without him, so I was kind of questioning Arteta's moves of bringing him in, whether it was like a nostalgia thing, like where we used to roll together, I might as well give you some more time to play kind of deal. But yeah, right now from a news standpoint, the only news we're making is that we're trying to build consistency with our wins and momentum with our wins. So that's the news, and actually it's good news going into Anfield, just because it's a small field. It's very cozy. I think with the momentum we have going on, that's going to help us dealing with you guys up in the north, knowing that you guys are unruly and you can be I don't want to say uncivilized as fans, but you can be very less welcoming.
Okay. Well, that's why LFC. In terms of LFC, we got I think our whole midfield is injured. Ever since we won this championship, I think we broke a curse and then got another curse. Last year was the whole back line, and now it's just a whole midfield. During the international break, we know Robertson got injured. He had to come off the match. Origi is not a factor, but he helps when he can. He also had to come out. Henderson had to come out. Mane had to come out. I think somebody hit him in the ribs, so they thought of, for cautious reasons, they had to sub him out. But moving forward, what we know is Mane is back in training. Henderson is back in training. Robertson is touch and go. We know Naby Keita is not going to make it. I don't think he will make it. Firmino, from what we heard, he's not coming back till December. And then also Milner is practicing. So with Klopp, you have to have at least 2 sessions with him. if you don't get 2 sessions, he's not gonna put you in the match. So right now, and then of course the little kid, Elliot, who twisted his ankle against Leeds, he started running now. So he's down the road somewhere, maybe end of December, January. But in terms of our lineup, the back line of VVD is still back. Simicast will probably start, but the front line, same old front line. But in terms of Arteta, I know Hapu said how Arteta is going to manage the team with the guys who are injured. I know I heard that Aubameyang is also touch and go. You guys don't know yet. Let's talk about Arteta and Arsenal, because they both are like equal, right? How in the beginning of the season, dude, you guys had a pitchfork outside the Emirates. You wanted Arteta out. You wanted all the Kroenkes out. You wanted Edu out. Edu was in Dubai chilling while you guys were losing. You wanted Wenger out. Wenger's already been gone, but you still wanted him out. I mean, right now, how do you guys explain the improvement of what Arteta and Arsenal are doing?
No, let me speak on this. The whole thing of like wanting people out and having pitchforks on, those are the gooners who are, I don't even want to call those guys gooners, because like true Arsenal fans have been there for a long time. Like we've struggled, we've had this struggle for over a decade now, where we've gone through so much heartache and pain with Arsenal that started. Yes, was it an ideal start to the season? Of course not. But at least for the guys who support Arsenal, we know that we were building something, right? We were losing, but we were improving in those losses. So I don't know if it's a case of like battered spouse syndrome, where we get abused by Arsenal, but we still keep coming back. I'm not sure if that's the case. But the thing is, none of the true fans were willing to get rid of Arteta yet. Yes, you may start having issues with the boardroom, how they're managing, from a case of, but I think we're spending more money now. Like before, we were in this money conservation stance, which I'm not sure what we're conserving money for. Like, frankly, I didn't know what we're because we already had a stadium, right? We already had sponsorship. Yeah, we already had sponsorships going on. So I'm not sure what we were saving money for. But I think right now, at the beginning of the season, there were some fair weather fans who just recently found out what Arsenal was, who were upset with Arteta, wanted him out. It didn't make any sense. Everybody knows that you need consistency, right? You need consistency in your management team. You need consistency in your training team. And the thing is, most people that know, it's not just Arteta. It's Arteta and his team, right? He also has a team that he rolls with, that coaches players, develops players, and so you need to have consistency. You can't just say, oh, we've had a horrible season. Like I remember talking to you guys and telling you guys, the only way left right now is to go up, right? We're sitting at 20, we have 19 spots to climb, right? The only way to go is up from now. And so I think, I don't know, like I was in the dressing room, so I'm not sure if Arteta came in and told guys like, look, the only way we have to go is up. I know most of you guys, like, some Liverpool fans, some Man U fans were like, no, the only way to go is like the next.
No, we're hoping you guys get relegated, but it didn't happen. So Mark, what do you think about this? I know Hapu, everything he says with a football student like ourselves, it makes sense. But then there's also the other side of football fans who are fanatics. All they care about is a W and an L, right?
Oh, unfortunately, I'm not that. Hapu, I can't reiterate so much what you said. I remember the first couple of games. I think perspective is a very important thing when you're building a football club. For fans, you see the wins, losses, the banter, the memes, us going to the championship. But the first 3 games, first one, we had most players out with COVID. The next 2 games, we played Manchester City and Chelsea, the 2 best teams in the league. Apologies, Archie. And that's the type of basis. When you start a season, simply put, we can't evaluate. That's not the sample size we had to evaluate for our season.
Right.
When Arteta had his first squad, his preferred squad back, everybody was healthy, no COVID cases. And again, you're not playing the most difficult teams. That's when we started to see both the positives and the negatives. It's very true, but a big part of it is, we end up seeing, some of the things we had to improve on. So for example, we figured out that once we score first, we have really big trouble scoring the second time. That's something we improved, for example, in the Aston Villa game. And that's the type of thing, I think that's why a lot of people, fans like us, like Hapu and myself, are really excited right now. Because regardless of whether or not we beat Liverpool, we see the upward trajectory. And as long as there's improvement, as long as the players are playing their heart out, as long as, there's that consistency in the squad, I'm happy as a fan.
Exactly. And I will jump this to Mike, the man who has no dog in this fight. This is the first time I've seen a super team. Arsenal is a big club. As banter as I am, Arsenal is a big club. But this is the first time a club, actually, the Arsenal fans are saying we're going to Anfield and we care about how the team is going to play. This is the first time. This is the first time I'm hearing this. When you look through the fandom, everybody saying that we want, even if we lose, I want to know how we play. Did we make an attempt or did we get trashed like Manchester United, right? So you sitting outside, with your Coke in your hand and your smile, what do you think about Arsenal this year?
So there's two things. One, just to echo what was said before, I think football fans, because of the access to media, right? Not everyone has to watch a game. You can just check the score on your phone. You don't have to listen to the radio. And then also for the fans who have never played the game, like we all have played football.
Right.
You don't understand stuff like consistency. You don't understand the way that you get into a rhythm of a season, the way that you go about putting games together. So I think a lot of what you saw earlier in the season, people were just waiting for Arsenal to fail because, literally every single meme page when Arsenal was 19th, where were you guys in the table?
20th.
20th.
19th, yeah. They play with Norwich, who was 20th, 1920.
Right. So, the thing is, if 3 games the most you can have is 9 points, right? So I don't know why anyone was going out making memes or whatever, because of course someone has to be bottom. But of course, football fans, they don't think like that. It's less and less the fandom is dominated by the people who actually know the game. It's more and more just growing access to the game, all great stuff. Now, as far as the game itself, I think it's really interesting because you have 2 clubs that are on form for different reasons. So I think Liverpool, and I may be overstating this, so Archie, correct me, but Liverpool is on form because the forwards are clicking. Like you said, the midfield has been ravaged, and that's where you see sort of the inconsistency in results. But in large part, like Mo Salah is playing out of his mind. You have
Best player.
Just great play going forward, and Arsenal is more holistic. Arsenal were pitiful in, probably like 3 years ago as a squad. Like you had good individuals, and you had like Bukayo Saka last season with Kieran Tierney. You had those little gems, but it was never like a holistic system thing. And Arteta has finally gotten what his system is implemented into Arsenal, and you can see the squad starting to run. So it's going to be like a clash between a team that's on form because you have great players who play well, even though there may be some more like structural problems with the way that Liverpool is playing, versus a team that, even though you don't necessarily have the best pound for pound players, and I know you guys will scream Bukayo Saka, and don't get me wrong, all on form. But as a squad, it's more balanced right now. The midfield, the defense, the attack are all gelling. You have a goalkeeper who's in the form of his life getting England call-ups when before no one even knew his name. So I just think it's going to be an interesting clash of 2 sides that are good for different reasons, and it'll be a good test for both Arsenal to see if they're really as good as the form suggests, and for Liverpool to see if they can actually still compete with some of those structural issues that I think are present in the squad.
I think this is an asset test for Arsenal. They've done well so far. You can only use the team that is given, you play. That is in front of you, whether you win or lost. But this is what I want to ask. I think earlier Hapu was mentioned that before you guys did not used to spend money. We remember the Arsenal Wenger days. But right now, this summer, you did spend quite a bit of money. So what do you guys think about your transfer this summer?
I think we did well. Like if you can see what Arteta did, he was focused on the defense, right? He took out the older, slower people and brought in younger, faster moving people because any good defender knows like you need speed in defense, right? You don't just need size. You need somebody who can read the game. You need somebody who can actually, at times even control the game, like the tempo, defense. And what we had, I mean, all respect to our boy, David Luiz. He does have experience, but his body and his age were showing, right? So, I get it. Like, I appreciate the help he had for the younger defenders, mentoring them and stuff. But you do need somebody with who's able to read the game, like Mr. White. Somebody with speed. Like a Tavares coming in. You do need those people in defense to help out, and so he did a great job. And also bringing in, I have to admit, I had my doubts about Mr. Ramsdale. I did have some doubts after seeing the guy play and seeing that he plays with passion, right? He plays for the badge, he plays for the crest. That has put my doubts at ease now. Like, okay, I'm like, no, this man here is here to play for the team, not for himself. Not saying Leno was doing that, but he's brought that passion where, let's I say, for the younger gunners, he's reminding me more of Lehman, right? With his passion for the game, his passion for the position, minus the fouls, minus the free kicks, minus the being sent off. So Ramsey's coming in with that passion and the fire behind the goals, which is good.
You want to jump on this, Mark? Or?
Yeah. Just to piggyback on that as well. Arteta has been very intentional. And whereas you can tell other people may have had some hands in the transfer decisions, particularly Raul Sanlehi, thanks Barca. But specifically now you see there's a profile. It's always young players, players who can play various positions, versatile players, and players who have that passion, that character. And for me, like, one of my favorite signings so far has been Tomiyasu at right back. People kind of like we're saying, oh, we passed up on Emerson Royal, why do? And you see Emerson Royal get spun in circles by Wilfred Zaha every week, right? And then compared to Tomiyasu, who loves defending first, he gets up, but Ben White loves defending first. In fact, some of my favorite moments of the season have been Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Ben White just celebrating a clearance, celebrating a block. And that's something that we don't see it's not characteristic of Arsenal since Arsene Wenger left, or even since before that.
Right.
And that's like very exciting for seeing that new profile. We're one of the youngest teams in the Prem, if not the youngest, week in and week out. And that's like, regardless of what happens this season, that's something that bodes well for season after season after season.
Right. But to me, it seems like you guys copied our stuff, right? Liverpool, we didn't spend nothing this summer, and the fan base lost their mind. Now, one thing that I would say this, I used to be like that when we won the Champions League. I was like, okay, you are the place of power, go spend the money, bring the players that you need to win and keep on winning. But Klopp did not that year. And then he went in and ran through the league and won the EPL. So ever since then, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to question this man ever again, right? But one thing that I know is Klopp is a student of Arsene Wenger. They are stubborn beyond comprehension. Right? But one thing that you have to give them is they are artists. And you can't tell an artist what they should paint. You can't tell them what color or whatever. So Klopp is not one of those coaches that want to spend money. When he has players and he sees somebody and he sees like you have a little bit of talent and you hard worker, he would trust you. So this summer, we didn't spend money. People were like, we lost Ronaldo, we need to spend. We lost Shaqiri, we need to spend. But he's like, no, I got another kid coming up, and his name is Harvey Elliott. And we all saw what Harvey did before the injury. But in a way, it also affects the fandom because they're blaming the owners. And they don't understand that the new, I call it the fake financial fair play rules. No owner can use their own money to put in the club. It has to be a loan, or you getting a loan from somewhere, or anything that is generated by the club. So owners, gone are the days where Abraham could spend 500 million on 3 players, or the Sheikh goes in and spend a whole brand new team. City, I believe this past summer, got a loan for 600 million. Because the Sheikh can't spend his own money anymore. And then he can't use his cousin to be his sponsor, right? So now you have to make money by how your team is. You have to generate the funds and then spend the funds. That's something that Arsene Wenger was waiting all these years. That's why he never spent those money. Now, if people want to spend the money and do what another team did, ask Barcelona how they feel right now on all the money that they spent, especially when they had so-called the GOAT on their team.
Well, I was about to say, Archie,
yeah,
all of that financial fair play thing is just because now the EPL decides to be remotely ethical with the way that it does its spending. So
that's why I don't
think we give anyone credit for sheiks not spending their yacht money on the club anymore, because it created a real power imbalance. But like, I think the thing is the fact that Liverpool couldn't go and spend all of that money this summer, like or that they didn't do so after a Champions League win. For the most part, that's really how you sink a football club really quickly. You inflate, because with winning comes money, right? Like you get prize winnings from Champions League, from Club World Cup, whatever, right? And of course, therefore you want to sustain that. But of course, the problem is the more success you have, the longer contracts you need to honor. The longer contracts you need to honor, you're going to keep 30-year-old players at your club when it's perhaps time to move on. And it's hard to justify letting players go, or players don't have to go because it's a contract. You have to. You can't just breach contracts. So it's always it's catch-22, because on one hand, you're going to, in order to get to that mountaintop, a lot of clubs want to spend that money. When you reach it, there's more incentive to spend money. But then if you don't spend that money, then you can fall behind. And in a footballing world where fans demand continental success like every year, it's not realistic for a team to win Champions League 3 times in a row, like Real did. But that's the pressure. So, people called Liverpool washed after they didn't repeat the Champions League. When Liverpool won the Champions League, I would say it's a fluke, or the
same fluke that we beat you guys 4-0 at Anfield.
Oh no!
That's the same Anfield that Arsenal's coming in.
Losing a 3-0 advantage to Liverpool is not something that, like, that's on us, not you. To be very clear, but in general, right? Like, you can't really you can't have an expectation of continental success year in, year out, like City, like Bayern has, and they have very particular factors that allow them to do it. And I think people don't realize a lot of those factors are just purely unethical. They're anti-sporting, they're monopolies. And that's the reason why you can do that, because in the past, it was actually a feat to go and do that. Yeah, and you can, like, right now you can't. I mean, Madrid is broke, but people don't want to talk about it. They were trying to get Mbappe on a deal, and PSG said no. So now they're waiting to get him for free. And I believe Mbappe will be an idiot to go to Madrid while Liverpool is right there. But that's here and there. That's for another time. So now that we're talking about all the mushy stuff, now let's talk about business. What's going to happen on Saturday? So I'm going to ask you guys, Arsenal fans, what tactics do you guys think that Arteta, however you pronounce his name, is going to be coming up, the new Pep? It seems that that's what some Arsenal fans call them.
I mean, from a formation standpoint, I think the best way to go around is going to be the 4-2-3-1 that he's been using. And that one should either be. I mean, the good thing about it is that the one that we can actually have either, it's Lacazette, Mr. Aubameyang out there, or even, if need be, we can float in either. Well, I was about to say we can float in either Saka or ESR, Emil Smith-Rowe. But the thing is, we do have options. So that's a good thing about it, right? If any of those guys are not at that one, they can be right at that 3 where they can actually come out and actually do something in the midfield, like an attacking midfield kind of deal. So the good thing about what we have right now going on is that we actually have options, and they're decisive options, right? There are options where that can change the game. Like, look at ESR, what he's been doing the last couple of games, right? Looking at Saka, the way he's been playing out of this world. He's maturing into those. These guys are maturing into those roles. These are our academy products. We're maturing in and helping out our quotes unquote veterans. Those being, Bame, I think Oba, and I think Lacazette. So we have options, and our defense is solid. So that's good. I think we welcome the challenge of going to high school. Yes, as I said before, it is a fortress, right? In the sense that everybody's sitting on everybody, including the fans, including the players. But we've had good successes, right? You know, it's, just look back a couple of years, we actually won there a couple of times.
Well,
so it's not as daunting a task to go out there and have a good result.
I don't want to be rude and cut off the good doctors, you know, Sololo Quill. But the last time you guys won at Anfield, if anything, was what? Somebody helped me. I think it was when Astra Vega was there.
No.
You guys haven't beaten us in Anfield in anything in a long time. The only time you beat us was at Emirates twice.
You're talking about EPL? If you're talking about EPL,
we beat you in the cup.
EPL, then it's been a while.
Yeah, the cup.
Huh?
Even the, what's it called? The League Cup.
The Carabao Cup?
The Carabao, yeah, that cup. You guys beat us on penalties in Emirates. It wasn't in Anfield.
Oh, I thought we put 5 past you guys.
No, it's called amnesia. We are the one who've been putting 5 past you guys. And the person who's been doing it is injured right now. So, you know, you guys going to have at least, because Bobby Firmino was having a field day with your boy Luis every single time they played each other. But with us, club doesn't change, right? So he keeps it 4-3-3, and you guys know what's going to happen. He's going to push his line all the way up. I mean, there's no formation, there's no tactics when it comes to Liverpool. It's the same stuff. It's just that on the day, the team has to play well. So, Mark, knowing this, and you know, the Habu saying that 4-2-3-1 is what you guys are going to play, to me, it seems like you guys are going to park the bus, because you know opening up against Liverpool is a kamikaze.
Well, I don't quite think parking the bus is the way to put it. I think and one thing that we've been seeing, regardless of the opponent, Arteta is a proponent of like preparing specifically for your opponent. But one thing that he's done all throughout is heavy pressure and starting from the top. So one thing, I know a lot of our fans have been upset at Alba for his last game's performance. But I was actually very pleased, specifically because of the way he pressed. So there's a lot of times where just like dawdling on the ball for 2 seconds, right? Turns automatically to possession. So I think that's you'll see that happen a lot, especially since we have the youth to press from the top. Now, as far as actual approach to the game, I would not be surprised to see us play expansive at times, especially if we start getting in a flow early. I think what's going to be crucial is what happens after the first goal. I mean, if there's a goal scored. If Liverpool score, it could force us to play in a way that we really haven't played very, very frequently, which is bombing forward constantly, wave after wave. A lot of times recently, our goals have come on counterattacks, have come after playing through the middle, a couple good passes from defense up. The other part of it is if we score first, that's when I think you could see the players start to, you know, bring it in, you know, start, you'll see the back four or the 2 wide backs not go forward. You'll see more of a static line. And again, that's something that I hope doesn't happen. Of course, I hope we score first, but I hope that we continue to press, to be ambitious. Because again, regardless of opponent, there's certain ways that you want to play. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm forgetting exactly which particular game this was, but one of the distinctive times I remember beating Liverpool recently involved this exact same thing. Young players, Reece Nelson pressuring the back line very consistently. And I think this is, while Liverpool has some pretty fantastic defenders, they're not very fantastic at defending at times. Looking at UTAA, who's probably one of the best right backs in the world, but at times it's exposed defensively.
You know, that people talk about Trent. Trent has changed, well, I wouldn't say he had changed the right back position. He just elevated because there was, you know, I know, he's shaking his head. He just came back. He showed up with the flip-flop. For crying out loud. The man went back to his club.
But is Trent Alexander, like, he's not revolutionary as a right back.
No, I didn't say he's revolutionary, but I say he has elevated.
Oh, I thought you were saying change. Oh,
no.
Okay,
I caught myself on that one.
Fair.
I told you I'm a student of the game, so I'm not going to make outlandish comments. But he is the best right back in the world right now.
No.
You cannot tell me there's a better right back. The stuff that this kid, remember, this kid has been doing it for 4.5 years, consistently. Yes, he can't stay at that level for too long. He does flop up in terms of his defensive positioning, but that is not his fault. That is Klopp. Klopp is the one who asked him to bump forward. The problem is the midfield. When the midfield don't cover him, then he gets in trouble. At times, he has been caught up under the ball or wrong position, or he's been, dribble past. But how many times? He did put Ronaldo in his pocket in the first Champions League that he went.
So are you trying to tell me that Trent Alexander-Arnold is revolutionary or like the best in his world because he knows how to overlap and cross?
No, the reason why he is the best right now is because of what he does with the ball.
Okay.
What he does with the ball. He is a midfielder playing as a right back.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
The stuff that he does is basically what KDB does in the midfield.
Well, I would argue that it's not to take anything away from Trent. Wonderful human being, I'm sure. Pretty great footballer. But I would argue that this is more so Klopp's system. Like, it's one of those things where, put it like this, you can have a player kind of like Kevin De Bruyne, but Kevin De Bruyne is actually really, really talented.
Right.
But like you see Trent Alexander-Arnold getting exposed when Liverpool is getting exposed. So when the system's working, yes, you can have a midfielder at right back because like great free kick taker, really good passer, like good crosser, not necessarily things you need in a right back traditionally, but I understand modern game, whatever.
Now, let me hold you right there. Manchester United brought a guy AWB, very solid in defense, right?
Sure.
You could barely pass him because he will slide tackle left and right every single time. I don't know why the guy, they even have cleats for him. They should just give him like skates because the guy's always sliding, right? Do you want that guy on your team right now the way the game is?
I wouldn't want him on my team because he's not world class.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The game has changed. The systems have changed. The game this time is, I call it more precise football, right? It's not the Joga Bonito that we're used to. Maybe you get only one Joga Bonito player on your team, and then the rest of them everybody is doing what they're supposed to do. So like when you have somebody like Reece James, personally, Reece James is the kid that I'm seeing that he's going to be the next good one. He's very solid in defense. Going forward, he's also good. But he's not at Trent's level. Chelsea fans have been trying to debate it. Yes, he's been doing well. This year is the year that he only played a full season. He's playing like a full season. Last year, he did well. But Trent has been doing this 4 or 5 years to the point where people are saying, move him to midfield. So
no, I don't want to interrupt you and all, but I think you're, which is fine. I was about to say you're clouded by bias being a Liverpool fan. But I mean, I get it.
Bias. That's full.
Yeah, Mr. Alexander-Arnold is a good player. He's a talented football player.
World class. Don't forget the world class.
You're right. He's a midfielder playing in the thing is right back. But the thing is, if you go back to what that role is, right? Like what that role is right back, you do need somebody who can overlap and switch and play midfield at times.
Right.
Because anybody, if you study the game long enough and watch enough games and actually played it yourself, you know that, to be a right back, be a left back, you have to be able to switch out and overlap with those
back and forth,
right? Because nobody wants to be exposed, right? If you make that run, you need that midfielder to come back and defend for you, to not expose your team, and vice versa. So the fact that you're commending him on knowing the fundamentals is one, yes, it's a good thing that you've acknowledged that, but I don't think that elevates him higher than other right backs out there right now.
What right back will you pick right now? Your right back. As a matter of fact, let's even move to the left back.
Okay.
Tierney. That guy, I think he's a bad boy. I mean, Scotland. I don't know how Scotland has Tierney and Robo on the same team. That's just a waste of talent having two people who are masters at the left back.
See, Tierney, if you watch Tierney play, he does the exact same thing
as Trent.
Yeah, on the left, right?
On the left.
But the thing is that you don't hear any of us saying
because he doesn't create as much as Trent. And that's why Robo always is ahead of him, because Robo, at one point, Robinson and Trent were the best assists in the league, 12 and 13, respectively, right? So personally, I will have Liverpool. If I was club and I go to Arsenal right now, 3 players that I would get: Rowe, Saka, and Tierney. Those three kids are bad boys. You know.
Yeah.
So,
but I think Trent is benefiting from the system, right? He's benefiting from the system that Klopp has designed for him, and he also benefits from the fact that when you guys are up and running at a full squad, right? You have people that are keeping defenders busy, right? You have Firmino keeping defenders busy. You have Mane keeping defenders busy. You have Salah keeping defenders busy. You have, Henderson. You have all these attacking forces coming out of defense that, they can actually neglect or not neglect, but you have to pick and choose your poison, right? Do you want to get murdered by, these three attacking strikers, or do you want to focus on a right back coming at you? They'll focus on the strikers. So now the right back can do whatever he wants to do. I think even if they put you at right back at Liverpool, with everybody else there,
I'll be the best player in the world right now.
Exactly. It's all about focus and all about where the energy is going. So I think, he's a great player. I'll give him that. But I won't say he's the best or he has revolutionized that spot. Because
no, he hasn't. I won't say he has revolutionized. I say he has elevated, because remember, the Barca fan will tell you, Dani Alves used to do the same thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and that's how he came. Yeah, that's how we all learned about Dani Alves.
Yeah,
the exact same. Yeah.
But the thing is, Dani Alves was actually world class. Like, again, I have nothing against Trent.
Dani Alves became world class when he came to Barcelona. At what age?
No, but
at what age?
He was, 20? I forget.
Yeah, he was 25. He was getting to his peak. Trent hasn't even hit his peak yet.
Well, but again, to be clear, I want to say Trent. If Trent is the best in the world, it's because of a lack of option. Like,
because the game has changed, right? Remember, the game has changed.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that, like, in the past, where you had,
you had to have a solid defender first.
There were like 10 world-class right backs alone. I can only, in good faith, name probably
Lamb, and who else? I don't think Gary Neville was world class. He was great, but he wasn't world class.
Yeah, but my point being, like, now, especially now, like, Trent isn't necessarily. Sure, maybe he's defining the role for Liverpool, and I'm not saying he doesn't work. Like, and doesn't matter.
You saw what he did to you guys. I don't have to tell you what he can do. You knew what he did to you guys. To
the extent that it matters or not, right? Whatever. If it works for you guys, it does, right? Even though if you want to be exposed in the back, that's your prerogative. Right. However, my point being that, like, especially now when, I don't know, João Cancelo, Reece, like the fact that we're talking about Reece James as a world-class right back.
No, he's not world-class. Reece James is not.
But again, people are saying this because
the Chelsea fans, you know how Chelsea fans are.
There's not a consistent. He's the best performing right back so far.
I won't say that's because Reece James doesn't even start for England.
Well, but Gareth Southgate is not. He's not.
Southgate doesn't even like Trent that much. He put Trent in the midfield a couple games ago.
So his selections aren't going to be the measure of who's good, is what I'm saying. But like in a modern world where what you want from right backs is basically just to bomb forward and spam crosses, it's not a surprise that someone who has that mold is succeeding because he's benefiting off of what the modern right back role is. Now, what's going to be interesting is he's been doing this for 3 seasons with relative success. I won't say relative success, right? Like a Champions League and a Premier League is nothing to laugh at, right? Now, the thing is, this weekend, what's going to happen is Mikel Arteta, who is known for studying opponents and coming up with solutions for opponents,
right?
Is there going to be a solution to a player who, in many ways, is just one-dimensional? I would suggest that it's very.
But see, this is where people also forget. Who's on the right side with Trent?
Who?
Salah. So Salah is going to pin back Tierney. Tierney on the left back, right? Whoever's, who plays you guys left wing?
It's going to be Emil.
Yeah. That means he has to track back with Trent. If that happens, you guys are not moving past the second halfway line. And that's how Liverpool always suffocate teams. And that's why we get hit with counter-attack once in a while because the center backs are in the halfway line, both full backs are chilling in the 18-yard box, and everybody's in your box. If that happens, Arsenal's not going to get out because one, you play with a team that can pass.
I mean, you're talking about a team that can pass, and you can talk about people like doing the overlap and whatnot. But the issue that I see is if you don't have a midfield that's gonna help you control the game. Yeah, you can probably get, I don't know, like a couple overlaps before you expose yourself because nobody's gonna track back, right?
Right.
So if you may start off with pressing us and pinning us back. But once we figure out what tactics you guys are using, I think it'll be an even game. I'm not saying it's gonna be a blowout game. Either way, on either side. I'm not saying, Arsenal will walk in there and, walk away with, 4 or 5 goals, or we'll lose by 4 or 5 goals. It's going to be a hard-fought game.
No, I'm expecting Arsenal to pull a fight. I don't expect it to be as easy as the other days because Arsenal tail is out.
No, and we have fighters, right? We have Emil Smith Rowe. I love the fact that he is a fighter, right? If you see him play in the mid, he will. It's a fist fight, right? He'll go up there whoever needs to go up there. If it's going to be Salah coming down his wing, most likely, he's going to. It's obviously we don't do the issue of like backtrack all the way with him. No, we have defenders that can come up, step up, escort you guys, and shut you down. Right? We have that flow. We have that we have that mentality now going forward where we believe that we play for each other, right? So. And I think what's going to happen is, you may run into space, you may find some openings here and there, but when it comes to the final touches and stuff, our defenders have learned to read people and anticipate. And I think the issue that we had previously with that, we're not anticipating stuff, we're reacting to plays, and that's where we're getting exposed and stuff. So now that we've started gelling together as a defense and as a midfield, we can anticipate what you guys are trying to do. So. We do welcome, Mr. Arnold to run up and down.
Oh no, Arnold's going to have a lot of fun because if Mane is also on the left side, he's also going to enjoy himself. That new gentleman that everybody say he's better than Trent. What's his name again?
Tomiyasu.
Tomiyasu.
I mean, he defends unlike Trent, so that's
okay. So we will see. The game is going to. I was so excited because you guys coming to Anfield. We just lost to West Ham, right? So we need this win. Now, even if we don't get it, I don't think Liverpool hurts us that much, but the fandom are going to lose their mind. Arsenal, this is an asset test for you guys. If you guys win this game.
Yeah, if we win the game and you guys lose, I think just flip position.
Yeah. But the thing is with Liverpool and City are the only 2 teams that could go on a 15-game run easy. No one has done. Tell me in the last 4 years who has done 14, 15 games.
No. Who has or who can?
I'm asking who can.
No. It's because every City was outspending everybody, and Klopp, was.
They got a great coach. That's one thing. As much as I don't like him,
Chelsea can put a very decent run together. Really, it's between Chelsea and City for me. Liverpool hasn't shown the type of consistency in games. West Ham's a very good team right now, so I don't really blame that loss on any type of form of consistency.
No, it was. I think it was a warranted loss, right?
It was a very tough loss. So
and but what Hapu was saying is our midfield. So in my team right now, the concern is the midfield. The midfield can play like they've been playing, how Klopp has been playing for the past 3-4 years. So if any breakdown is going to happen, it's going to be the middle. So our defense are always exposed nowadays because everybody says, your defense is leaking. It's not a defense because Henderson can keep going back and forth. And a lot of times we've seen that he's leaving Trent exposed by himself a lot of times, right? Because everybody knows Trent is the weakest part, Trent's the weakest part. So teams triple team Trent. But if Henderson don't drop, then that makes that side weak. So with us, it's the midfield. If our midfield's on, like they did with Atletico Madrid, they did with Manchester United, or they even did with Watford, this game is over in 20 minutes. At the same time, I get concerned when Liverpool scores first, because when they score first, they think that the game is going to be so easy. They take their foot off the gas. Hence, Brighton, Brentford, Atletico Madrid, when we went to Madrid, and AC Milan in the Champions League, the first match. So I want Arsenal to make it tough because that's when Liverpool stay focused. And if that happens, then I'm telling you, the Man U game, they were on a mission. They wanted to beat them. That one was just.
Well, it's a rivalry match. So
yeah, so that one was.
Yeah, if you don't show up for a rivalry match, you probably shouldn't be wearing the uniform, right? I'm just putting it out there for the Man U fans. But I mean,
that was a beautiful win. It made me smile so much. I'm agreeing.
No, but I mean, but the thing is, if you look at, I get it, right? From our standpoint, one thing I've been happy about this season is that when we do go down, we don't stop playing. That's one thing. That's one thing I've been happy about this season. And previous seasons, well, recent seasons, I mean, because we've had teams that were fighters like way back when.
Right.
But in the most recent history, when we went down, we were dejected, right? You can see it in the players' language, like, the body language. They weren't,
shoulder drop.
Yeah, they weren't fighting as hard. They weren't going for the 50 tackles, all those kind of things, right? Because they're like, oh, we're already down. Like, this is another loss kind of deal. But nowadays, you see, like, oh yeah, even if we do go down, there's still a fight and there's a fight immediately. It's not a case of, let's regroup after the half or whatever it is. No, we go down. The next two plays we're fighting again. We're trying to parse out stuff. So this is gonna be a good game. It's gonna be
a great match.
But it's gonna 90 minutes of hard fought. It's gonna be a match. It's gonna be a match to watch.
No, it's good. Anfield's gonna be rocking on that day. But before we go, I want you guys to give me your predicted lineup.
Ooh, okay.
Come on, you guys said you on form. It should be easy.
Well, I mean, I think
Ramsdale. Okay, we'll start from the back and move forward, right?
Yeah.
Ramsdale, right? Tomiyasu. We're gonna have Gabriel. We're gonna have I don't know about the wings.
Help him, Mark. Help him.
So I think the most controversial as far as who's playing is going to be left back, whether it's Tavares or
That's you kid.
I'm telling you, still,
that's what I'm thinking about. Like, whether it's gonna be Tierney or Tavares. That's what I'm like looking at the wings. I'm like, they're both doing great, right?
I think it's going to be Casey just because of the fact that whoever is going to be there has to face Trent as well as Salah. I think we're going to opt for more defensive stability by putting Casey, but I would not be surprised if Nuno Tavares comes in maybe like 60, 65 minutes in and gives something different going forward.
And your midfielders, Partey is injured, right?
Yeah.
No, Partey it's going to be touch and go. I think he's probably going to make it. Sambi Lokonga's for sure going to be, it's probably going to be Sambi and Partey. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If not, it's going to be Sambi and Ainsley. Ainsley had a really unexpectedly good game last time out, and I think he's pretty much above El Neni in the pecking order.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
And then,
as far as strikers,
front three.
So it's going to be any variation of Aubameyang, Bukayo Saka, ESR, Lacazette, or Martin Odegaard. It's going to be. I think this is where we'll probably see most of the tactical reaction to how Liverpool plays. I think the reason Lacazette has been playing is because Lacazette brings. I mean, he doesn't have that many goals, assists.
He holds the ball well.
A lot of pressure, and he brings composure. And that's something that, especially when he's playing up top with Abba, playing in that 10 role, right behind him, he kind of brings that stability because oftentimes Aubameyang, when he's at his worst, it's when he has to face his back to the goal and when he has to play the ball back. So if you can get Aubameyang running in behind, I think that's where, especially with some of the midfield defensive frailties that Liverpool have shown, I think that's where you could get some success.
Okay, so for us, and this is the reason why I think it is in our favor, because the midfield, if Partey doesn't play, you guys are in big trouble because that's leave a lot of young kids in your midfield. And you're not going to go against our veteran midfielders, even though they are kind of, on the downward spiral right now with injuries and all that kind of stuff. But on our side, I think, of course, the best goalie in the world, Alisson. It's not going to be Robertson on the left. It's going to be Tsimikas, who's also played just like Robo. Now, even the LFC fans want him to play more than Robinson. Of course, the best center back in the world, VVD. He's playing at 80% right now. Matip, I think he's going to go with Matip. I'm hoping he plays with Igbo, but he's going to go with Matip for experience purposes. And then Trent. In the midfield three, that's where the issue is. For sure, Fabinho is going to play. So he's going to be holding the 6. The other 8 is going to be Henderson. He should be fit. And then the middle 3, I think he's going to go with Ox. I'm hoping he goes with Thiago, but I probably think he's going to go with Ox. So it's between Ox and Thiago, but I think he's going to go with Ox. So the front 3 picks himself. Fabinho is injured, so it's Mane, Jota, and Salah. All right. So in terms of this team, what do you think, Mike? Or if any frailty, what do you think?
So I think somehow I don't think necessarily the frailty comes to injuries like you do. I think it certainly is that, but I think it's also consistency. So I know like Ox particularly very, very inconsistent. Sometimes he's on his game, sometimes he's off. Mane, inconsistent. I would argue Trent, inconsistent. Even Alisson and goal, sometimes the season has not been as consistent as he could be. So I think the word for Liverpool is consistency. I think that is your strongest lineup. And I think where you're going to be, especially as much as I talked about Alexander-Arnold, where you're going to be strong is launching attacks from the back, having your wingers going forward, breaking lines. But the question is, can they do that? And are they going to be on their game? And if they aren't, then it's going to be a walkover for Arsenal. If they are, then you're going to see Liverpool on the front foot, making chances, and Arsenal holding on. That's how I see it.
I mean, this guy's talking about 10 minutes, right? This guy's talking about Liverpool like, we know I told you, we at City are the only team that could go 2 more gears. Chelsea is not there yet. Chelsea is playing consistent, they're doing well. But Chelsea, when they got exposed, look what what's name did to them. Southampton. I've never seen a team pin Chelsea back like Southampton did to them.
Look at what West Ham did to you. Look at
what did West Ham do?
Like,
we score goals, right? That's the thing that you have to see. We score goals. That first goal that they scored, that was you can't attack a goalie like that. Come on. How many times we watch a game, they keep saying protect the goalie? But anyway, I want us to do a combined 11.
Oh, bless.
Your goalie versus my goalie.
I don't. Yeah, this is one that I don't think we have a sample size to adequately. Ramsdale has only played at the top level for several months now, and he's been almost flawless since he's been there.
So he's the most informed goalie, right? Him and Mendy.
Yes,
I think Ramsdale, the thing that he has an advantage of is fearless. So I think that's going to put him like against just a little bit above your goalie. I mean, you can have all the experience you want, but sometimes experience can also paralyze you, right? Because you're like, hey, I maybe shouldn't fall for this trick because, 3 years ago, they tricked me with this move and I was exposed. While Ramsdale was just happy to be there. So I think Ramsdale is happy to be there.
You understand with that also is you can't keep that going. Eventually, he's going to fall off. And then remember, Leto also came out. He was hot like that. The only goalie from Arsenal that I'm surprised that you guys let him go was Martinez. He is the most consistent goalie. Have you seen your fantasy points? He's the most highest out of all of them. Except with Alisson.
That's a sore spot. Martinez leaving was a bad move. I'll own that. That was a bad move on our part. And I still don't know the reasoning behind that, apart from the fact that we wanted more money. Which great, now we have more money, but okay, now what? So yeah, it's that the whole Martinez leaving. That's a sore spot. That's in the past. But yeah, for a combined 11, the goalkeeper, I'm gonna go Ramsdale.
So I guess my vote. Yeah. Since I'm neutral, I would go Ramsdale just because of form. Okay. I think when you're talking about athleticism, reaction saves, as a former keeper myself, what Ramsdale does, you can't teach that. It's either you have it or you don't.
He's excited right now. But the thing is, with Allison, they are the whole. Allison was all black and Noon on another level. But I'll give you guys your goalie, left back.
So I mean, left back, depending on who plays for you, I mean, I have to give it to Casey, to Tierney. I am personally believe that Tierney's better than Robertson anyway. That's my personal belief. But you know, Liverpool fans can attack me for that. But I think KT all day.
All right.
Yeah. I second that. I second Katie. Center back.
I don't know why you guys are even thinking.
Wait, so the question is, are we doing just two center backs?
Two center backs,
center back, right center back.
Left and right. So left, Van Dijk versus who? Gabriel or who else?
It's Van Dijk.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why they think it. Matip versus White.
White.
Yeah, White.
Matip is never in any combined 11 for me.
Okay.
White.
I'll respect him.
But he's better than White.
No,
I don't think so.
No, White's gonna. Yeah, White. No, White don't match it. What? Better than White? What?
I think they're similar level players.
Matip is better than White. But I'll give you guys White. Right back. That's not even a question. Why are we even thinking? Mike, why are you even thinking?
So are we saying right back or right midfield back?
No, right.
We're going right.
We're going four. Back four. We're going back four. Trent. Okay.
Yeah,
so we play 4-3-3, right?
Yeah.
Number 6.
Partey.
Yeah, Thomas.
Partey. It's a Partey.
Partey over Fabinho.
Yes.
Over Fabinho. Ooh, this is tough.
Partey over Fabinho. And
really
Partey is from my own country, and I love him. But right now, he's not that Partey that you guys got from Atletico.
Are you salty because he didn't play for Ghana this international break? Like,
I don't know why. Let me catch him eating fufu in the back. That's what he was doing.
I'm gonna go with Partey too. It's really close though, but I'm gonna go with Partey.
This guy, I know. I told you that he was a hater. You guys thought that
I'm
he
not
was
hating.
going
It's
to be
just
right.
Fabinho.
He still heard from that 3 years ago. Let it go, man.
Partey at his best is a lot better than Fabinho.
No,
I think we can.
Fabinho is the best number 6. I told you that last time.
Here we go again.
Who is better than him? Partey doesn't. In what world do you choose Partey over Fabinho?
In the world that he plays for, when he played for Atletico Madrid and was dominating La Liga.
Because they were parking the bus, and now that they open up, look how much he's gonna expose.
I'm saying if he's
exposed.
on form,
wait.
If he's on form, then I go Partey.
So another number 8, Henderson versus who else?
Sambi.
I'm
gonna give Henderson.
Yeah. On the left side, Ox versus Rowe.
I mean, Emil Smith Rowe basically replaced Ox or something.
Okay,
So.
I'll give you guys.
Yeah,
okay, the front 3.
Front 3?
Yeah.
So, Saka has to be there.
Over who?
Mane, yeah.
Over what?
Mane's just consistent this season. Saka is one of the rising wonder kids in the world.
Okay, we're not trying to miss penalties out here, okay?
I'm gonna be a black sheep and say Mane, but only because I like the attitude Saka comes with. He's a young player and he never plays.
No, I love Saka. Remember, I told you those 3 players that I will steal from Arsenal.
Now, secretly, I would take Bukayo any day. But as far as like reputation quality, I can give you Mane.
Okay. On the right side, we're not gonna even debate, right?
It would be Salah, yeah.
Okay, then the striker.
Depends on who plays.
How many goals does who's your striker? Who are you choosing?
It doesn't matter if it's Alba or Lacazette. I'd go with
over Jota.
Yeah. Again, on their day.
You see, even the Arsenal fan is saying,
No.
I'm thinking about either Laka or Alba. I'm not even looking at Jota right now. Like I'm thinking like who would take that spot. So I'm not even thinking about
how many goals does Alba have?
See, the thing is that I don't measure by goals because when I look at the quality of the player, easily any day at his best, I'm taking Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang 10 times over 10 over Diego Jota, and I know you would as well. Cut it out if you say anything else. However,
Dortmund Aubameyang, yes. The first year Aubameyang, yes.
No. I'm talking
this one who can't even find the net.
Can't even find the.
Alba, I'm taking Alba.
Alba just started scoring 2 goals. Like he's a flat type bully.
No, who's the bully?
Alba. When he plays against weaker teams, he scores.
No,
against big teams, he doesn't.
He's just clinical. And again, he deals with the midfield that, again, one of the reasons last season, he had malaria. But then also the fact is that, like, we didn't have a lot of creation.
Malaria.
Right?
So he went back to Gabon and the mosquito bit him and then he got malaria.
Yeah, and he got malaria and he still played through it. That's my captain right there.
On Sunday, you're gonna realize who Jota the Shotter is.
And not even mosquitoes can run with him, you
know? Okay, quick predictions. Mike.
I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a tie, 1-1.
Okay. Doug.
I'm gonna go 2-1.
Who? 2-1 who? Oh, okay. Because you said 2-1, you weren't sure. You weren't sure.
You said
Mark, what do you say?
I'm going 3-3. I'm thinking it's gonna be a repeat of what happened a couple years ago.
I'm gonna say 3-1 because I know Arsenal will probably score. And Liverpool always score. Now, this game is going to be exciting. I don't want to banter you guys because I want to be hospitable and I don't want to be too rude. We know what's going to happen. Arsenal has shown up at Anfield and as soon as they see that tunnel, they freeze. So I know exactly what's going to happen. But anyway, guys, I want to say thank you so much, gents. I hope everybody subs and liking this because we just dropped some jewels. You know, thank you guys so much. Doc, I appreciate you for staying up all night, you know, to join us and talk about the Gunners versus Liverpool. Mike, the Barca, I know you guys are broke. I don't want to talk about it. I know it's sensitive, but hey, Xavi's back. You got, what's his name? I don't know what he's going to do, but he's back, right? Guys, thank you so much. Everybody, we appreciate you guys. I got Mike, Mark, Hapu, Archie here, Kwasibold. Peace.